extra large Viola and Muscari kit. Now this is quite a new pot. We have had it in previous years, but we've brought it back for spring, and it's one of these gorgeous ribbed terracotta pots and saucers in a kind of larger size. So our 12 and 14 are always our best sellers. They sell out every time. And this is a 16 centimetre, so it's slightly bigger. And it's just a really lovely pot to have on an island or on a windowsill or on a kitchen table, just to make a real feature of your home. So I really hope you'll love this kit, this pot kit. So in your boxes, you will have your pot and your saucer. You'll have your violas and your blue Muscari. You'll have your gravel, your compost and your moss, and you'll have some dry thyme and some birch twigs. So let's pot up. So you're going to take your gravel and pop it in the base of your pot. So you can put all of your gravel in yours. And then we're going to pop in our compost. So again, you can use all of your compost. You will also have compost in your violas and your Muscari. So you might not need all of it. So just see how you get on. So I'm now just going to sort of create a bit of a hole for my first Viola. Now violas are quite thirsty, so I suggest giving them a really good drink, and your Muscari as well, but give them a really good drink when you get them out of the box. So we're going to pop in our Viola, and then next to it we'll pop our lilac one. Again, giving them a really nice drink. So these two go sort of side by side in the sort of middle of your pot, like so. They're so gorgeous. And then with the rest of your compost, you're just going to place it all in the gaps in between your Viola plants. And you can go quite high with this. Okay, that's our compost in, and our violas nicely potted in our terracotta pots. And now we're going to take our blue Muscari, and we're basically going to take all of the bulbs apart, so you've got then individual bulbs. So we're just going to break it up. Don't worry about the root structure, it'll be absolutely fine. So you've got your individual bulbs, and then we're just going to take them, give them a bit of a swirl in the palm of our hand, so our roots are sort of tucked under, and then you're just going to place them on top of the compost and sort of just gently push them down. So we're sort of surrounding our violas with the Muscari. You should have sort of between 6 and 7 Muscari bulbs in your kits. I like it when the sort of roots hang over the side of the pot, so if that happens, don't worry, they'll still be getting the nutrients from the compost. I'm just being sort of quite careful of the base of the Viola plants because they can be quite delicate. Making sure you don't sort of knock off any new buds. Okay. And now we're going to add in our moss. So in your kits you'll have some flat moss, which is this lovely sort of carpet moss. There'll be twigs in there and all sorts of kind of pine cones and things like that, but it just gives a really lovely kind of rustic, organic feel. So I'm just simply breaking pieces off of the moss, and I'm just going to pop the moss around the bulbs. And as I put the moss around the bulbs, I'm then going to put my index finger and thumb either side of the Muscari, and then with my other hand, I'm just going to lift that Muscari up slightly. And the purpose of that is just so that the bulb then sits on top of the moss. So then you see that lovely contrast of the sort of papery bulb against the sort of textured moss. So again, just tucking it in and around the bulb, and then just gently lifting that bulb up and sort of sitting it back on top of the moss. Again, just being mindful of the viola plants and their sort of delicate buds that might be forming sort of at the base of the plant. Again, just tucking the moss in. And then gently lifting up that bulb and sort of placing it back down. And that's all mossed up. And now we can add in our twigs. So we have our dried thyme and our dried birch. So I'm going to start off with the birch twigs. And we have a little bundle of this. It's touching to me. And then you can just cut it down into little sort of sections. And it's completely up to you how tall or short you want them. I personally don't like them too tall. The Muscari will probably come to about here, so it's nice to have them tall enough that, you know, that Muscari can wrap itself around. And just again, just being really careful of the base of the viola, because I can see in here there's a few buds there, so I'm just making sure I don't disturb those. And you can add in as many twigs in your bundle as you like, or just a few, it's completely up to you. And then I'm just going to pop in the dried thyme now. So in the dried thyme you'll have a sort of quite a woody sort of looking bundle with sort of the odd kind of sage green leaf of the dried thyme. And again, that just goes in around the base. I have these a bit shorter than the birch twigs. And that just adds a lovely contrasting texture. Now, in terms of looking after your Viola and Muscari, the Muscari is just so easy to care for. They are really robust. You know, you can get away with not watering them for a considerable amount of time and they will be fine. Usually they store a lot of their nutrients in their bulb. Whereas with the Viola, what you'll find with them is that they are actually quite thirsty plants. So I would suggest watering your Viola every couple of days. Keep that soil really nice and damp, and being mindful that you need to water the soil and not just the compost. So sometimes you could, if you wanted to, just move the compost, move the moss and water the compost so that's nice and damp. And what you will also find is that the flowers do go over. That's completely normal. So the flower's sort of lifespan is probably a couple of days. So what you need to do then is just pinch them out, and that will encourage new buds to form. So all you do is you take one of the sort of gone over flowers. They start to look sort of a bit closed, almost like a shell. You pinch with your index finger and thumb near the base, being careful again of any new buds, and you simply pinch it out like that. And that's all you do. And then new buds will then start to form. I'll show you with this gone over flower at the front here. You just pinch it down at the base and then new buds will form. And that's about it. So yes, keep them nice and damp. Pop this kit in somewhere sunny. A windowsill is perfect. A sunny breakfast table, a sunny island. It likes lots of sunlight for the violas. With the Muscari, once they've gone over and the leaves have gone yellow, you can then trim those leaves off, and then you can put those bulbs in the ground in your garden if you want to. You can either do that now, 3 or 4 inches deep, pointing upwards, and forget about them, or you can put them in sort of one of the brown paper bags that comes in your kit. Put them in there, put them in a cupboard somewhere dry, and then in next spring, once final frosts have gone, you can then plant them in your garden. I personally prefer the lazy way. I'll put them straight in my garden and forget about them, and then they'll come back for the following spring. So that's all there is to it. So keep it nice and damp, somewhere sunny, pinch out those flowers when they go over. If you find that all of your flowers go, don't give up. Quite often with violas, they will have a bit of a dormant period and then they'll just come back. So if you lose all of your flowers, just keep it nice and watered, somewhere sunny, and then more than likely you'll get new flowers forming in the coming sort of week or so. So there you have it. That is your Viola and Blue Muscari kit.